All right, more impressed with Jokic's performance or disappointed in Westbrook's end to the game? Mad Dog, you take it first.
I have to say Westbrook, that was a horrendous, I mean, he missed a layup and then he fouls a three-point shooter at the end of the game. Let him make this, let's see if he can make this shot. He's a 35% career three-point shooter. Don't put him at the line. And by the way, for the second time in 3 years, I'll give you one guess who told me to take the over.
Fat Rob.
No, to take the over of a particular team.
Stephen A?
2 years ago, it was the Wizards, and he swore on, don't look at me that way.
He's staring right into your soul right now, by the way.
You're like the face of ESPN Bet. Get it together.
Don't you.
That would have to be you.
You left that.
Molly's mine.
You left that deli.
Actually, Molly's money line.
Yeah, you left that deli because I had a picture up there on that deli, and you left it.
Yeah, he's
and
got a
you
big
told
ego.
me to take Denver. You love Denver as an over 51.5. So I needed Denver to win the game yesterday. They had lost the Wizards twice. They lost the Bulls at home. They got killed by Portland, and that's a horrendous loss last night. I mean, the guy scores 61 points. He has a triple-double. They finally have the game in hand, and Westbrook misses a layup, and then he commits to foul at the end, and they make the 2 free throws, and now the Timberwolves have beaten them, 5-6 times in a row? They knocked them out last year in the playoffs. They're 4-0 against them this year. I'd be worried about Denver. But Jokic is so great. You know, he's the best offensive center, maybe offensively in the history of the NBA.
Oh, I'm glad you're coming around. I'm glad you're coming around. This is good.
You just
it's a big
give
step for you.
props to a present-day NBA
Not
player.
Bill Walton.
Standing ovation.
Oh, okay.
Offensively. He's not great defensively, but he does everything. He shoots the three. But the Westbrook 2 plays at the end of the game, that's going to cost me, and of course you at the end of the day, you're going to help me pay for that loss. That was one of the worst decisions on those last 2 plays.
Your energy is very interesting right now. I don't know how to read it, and I don't like it.
It's bad
I don't
vibes.
like it because he's conniving. He's up to something, and I can't figure it out, and I don't like it. All right. Russell Westbrook, number one, why even shoot the layup?
That's true.
Pull the ball out.
Absolutely.
Allow your defense to get set after you make 2 free throws, right? That was my thing for us. Fine. But the biggest story is Nikola Jokic. It's happened 3 times in the history of basketball, 61, 10, and 10. I mean, it's to wake up today and for this not to be the lead story without any Jamal Murray, with no Michael Porter Jr. I get that they lost the game on a last-second blunder, but the fact that he put his team in a position by himself with 61, 10, and 10, when they only scored, 140 points, he accounted for more than 75% of the team's points by his damn self. I think SGA is going to win the MVP. That's the best player in the NBA right now.
Oh, absolutely.
That is the best player in the NBA.
Plenty of times Michael Jordan didn't win the MVP, and we knew he was the best player in the league.
My thing with Jamal Murray back and Michael Porter back, I think them and Golden State are probably the biggest threat to OKC.
Well, let me say this to you. It's getting very interesting. I loved it. That was a fantastic game last night, no doubt about it. The story is Nikola Jokic. I mean, a 61-point triple-double, and you're going to bring up Westbrook. And you also have to understand something. Westbrook would be, and I mean no disrespect, because I got a lot of respect and love for this future Hall of Famer. But the bottom line is that kind of play, those kind of mishaps, unfortunately, I'm not talking about the missed layup. I'm talking about the decision-making. The decision-making is something that has plagued him throughout his career. It plagued him. A lot of people thought that was one of the reasons Kevin Durant left OKC to begin with, for crying out loud. We know his talent in terms of how great he's been throughout his career and stuff like that. But when the decision-making, when it's questionable, that's not a surprise. That's something that's religiously been associated with him. It's just that we haven't had to say that since he's been a Clipper and now that he's a Denver Nugget. But OKC, obviously Houston, of course the Los Angeles Lakers, that has been a question mark about Russell Westbrook. Certainly not his talent, his work ethic, his tenacity. Nobody would ever question that about Russell Westbrook, which is why he's a Hall of Famer. Having said that, because it's not that big of a surprise, as unfortunate as it is, Jokic is a story, man. 61 points, 10 rebounds. This brother is, listen, I saw this, there was one play when Rudy Gobert is like 7'1", 7'2", and he's big. No. I remember one time when he just moved him with one arm, like for a little short hook. It's like he's moving him out of the way like it's paper. I'm like, we underestimate how powerful Jokic is. He's a strong, strong brother because you just see him. I'm looking at Ant-Man against him. Ant-Man looks like a child next to him, like a little kid. He's so big, he's so wide, and he's just backing him down. It's like, what are we supposed to do with this guy? Jokic is special. There is no question about that. But I got to give props. That's the answer to this question in terms of Jokic. But we'll get into the game, and that's where I want to go. Because this brother Ant-Man is somebody special.
Jay, let me ask you this. As the playoffs are approaching, are you higher on the Wolves or the Nuggets?
I think the Nuggets have a higher ceiling because of having a guy like Jokic. Now, the question for the Nuggets is the health of Michael Porter Jr. And then Jamal Murray. But I think with a fully completed team, they provide different matchup issues for Lakers, for OKC because of their experience. I think Golden State can too because of the way they spread the floor. But the ceiling is definitely higher. And I love Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man is special. 10 points coming into the fourth quarter last night to finish the game with 34 points. I do think teams have started to figure it out, and they've seen it last year where they started running a ton of double teams at him, and they forced him to become a playmaker, and we'll see how he handles that down the stretch. But, like, I'm not going to sleep on how good Denver is as a team.
Denver is the answer to this question if you're just talking basketball. I'm getting emotional right now.
Talking
I want to get emotional right now.
You have emotions?
Yes, I do. You know what I'm saying?
I know who Ant-Man reminds him of.
This brother Ant-Man. Dougie, Jay, Molly, let me tell you something right now. Ant-Man is one of the greatest shows in basketball. And I'm going to encourage the NBA and everybody involved to continue to watch this brother and put that brother on national television because he is something to behold. We know this brother he goes airborne. It's a problem. We understand that. Have you seen the way he works on his shot? Have you seen his jumper improve? Have you seen his speed? He scored 13 points in the last 6:30. The last 6:53 of regulation, all right? Back-to-back threes, all right, to put him up. I'm just watching his game. It's Jordan-esque. You understand what I'm saying? And he shows up when it counts. He's one of those cats. If you're watching it on TV, you're looking at your clock and right, game winded down. He's going to respond at some point. This is what he does. And when you talk about who you should want to see as these playoffs are about to unfold, that's a brother I want seeing as often as possible. I'm looking at Minnesota. They got size. They can play some defense. We get all of that parts. It's about Ant-Man. He ain't no point guard. You understand? Having him making the decisions, I don't need that from him. I need the ball in his hands. He's the brother you can give the ball to and say, take me there. Here's another emotional element that I'm throwing into the mix. Denver losing now only has a half-game lead on L.A. for the 3 seed. L.A. at the 4th seed, you get to the first round, you got to play OKC in the second round. I think you're going home. You at the 3rd seed, you got a shot to get to the conference finals. We are against OKC because you don't have to see OKC until then. You'd probably go against Houston in the second round. Who could give them trouble? No doubt. But LeBron and Luka and L.A.
Murderer's Row down the stretch for L.A., though. OKC
totally
twice, Golden State Thursday.
If they get the number 3 seed, things get very interesting. And I like that.
I think the Nuggets have the tiebreaker against the Lakers, too. I think they beat them 3 out of 4. We can have Sam check it out.
Okay.
The problem I have with Denver, and because of Steve's influence, 51.5, I've been on him all year.
They didn't play a few games. I don't have any control
I
over
respect that, doggy. I
They
respect
missed
that.
the games.
You killed me with Bradley Beal.
He held me against Bradley Beal
You know my
against
dad
the
asked
Washington
me,
one was
do you
fine.
really-
I
do you
know he
really
missed
bet
the
that much?
game.
But he did better research,
He act like he's just playing and they lost. They missed games.
Who in
Well,
October?
you trust him. You trust your guy.
Who in October is more on top of the NBA than he is? All right, Steve, what do you like?
A
You
lot
like
of
Denver
people.
over
A lot of
51.5?
people. A lot of people.
He
I got
said,
a lot of
I can name a few.
Doggy, I
Name one or
love
two.
I love
He was a presidential candidate.
No, that's true, too. Maybe not this past October.
Yeah.
But I love Denver, so I took Denver. So all year long, I've been focused on Denver. They're a little careless. They've lost a lot of they lost the Wizards twice. They lost the Bulls last week when the Bulls went crazy in the 4th quarter. Yesterday, they can't lose that game. No Naz Reid and no freaking DiVincenzo. He's out because of the suspension. You got to win that game, and they're trying to get to the 2 seed. So from that standpoint, I don't completely trust them, and they're not a very good defensive team. They score.
And depth.
They
You
score.
trust Minnesota more?
You know, they beat them last year, Minnesota. Minnesota's got a little more of a better combination. I might trust the T-Wolves more.
Minnesota's beating them 6 straight.
6 straight times.
I hear you with that.
You don't beat Jokic 6 straight.
I'm with you on the individual matchup. I'm talking about the whole body of work compared to the Western Conference. So, like, you trust Minnesota to get further in the Western Conference than Denver?
I can't right now because Minnesota might end up in that play-in, which means they got to play the extra games and all that. Denver doesn't have to worry about that. But Stevie's 100% right. If I was motivated, if I was a coach in that Western Conference to avoid the play-in, so Golden State, the Clippers, and Memphis, teams like that got to avoid that. The second thing is what Stevie said: stay away from OKC in the conference final. And so as a result, don't drop to that 4th seed. Don't deal with OKC. Don't deal with them in the second round. Deal with them in the conference final. Houston, first one in the postseason. You can beat Houston in a 7-game series in the second round. OKC be dangerous. And right now, that 2 seed is up in the air, as you said, in that conference.
All I'm saying, Doggy, is I know for a fact Denver has a variety of ways they would guard Ant Edwards that he has not seen yet.
Well,
they're ready to implement.
Hold on. We can't just say that.
I know that.
But who sent Denver home last year?
I agree.
But I'm just saying, they sent them home.
I agree. But so the entire offseason, do not think for 1 second that they weren't scheming on when they see him again in the playoffs, what else they're going to throw at him.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you, Jay, is this. If I took you out in the 7-game season, I won a game 6 and then a game 7 on the road, on your home turf, and then I come to the regular season, all right? Carl Anthony Towns is gone. There's Julius Randle there now, okay? I get that part. But I still beat you all 4 times I go up against you. I beat you the last 6 times. I mean, at some point in time, you trying to tell me they're going to show me something I haven't seen come playoff time?
Yes.
That they haven't. I didn't see last year, and I didn't see at any point this year.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Can we bet a Tom Ford suit on it? Can we run that back?
What are you asking me to bet, though?
If they meet in the playoffs.
Because
if they meet in the playoffs. If they meet in the playoffs.
I'm not telling you that Minnesota would beat Denver because I don't know if the other cats are going to show up. But I'm talking about you want to have a bet that whatever scheme they come up with, they're going to stop Anthony Edwards. I will bet you a suit on that.
Well,
I bet you ain't nobody stopping Anthony Edwards.
Well, it depends on how you define stop. Your shooting percentage.
He'll average 30.
On what shooting percentage? Because if he's averaging 30 on 30% shooting, that ain't so good.
That's difficult math for him.
42 or 43.
Who do you have coming out of who do you have in the Western Conference Finals?
I think you know math is not that difficult for me these days.